You're recording. Okay. And, okay. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. And Godot. Okay. Okay. Are you guys ready? Okay. Hello, everyone, to the first in-person Godot workshop from Game Devs at York U. Hello. Today we're going to be making Pong. So, you know, the classic game where there's two paddles on both sides and a ball bouncing in between. Can I get a raise of hands just to see who has used Godot before? Okay, fair. You use Godot. How many of you like know how to program? Wanna raise your hands? Okay, so everyone knows how to program. How many of you know how to program in Python? Okay, okay, so everyone kind of knows. There's two people who. Wait, did you raise your hand? Okay, so everyone has at least tried Python, which is good. Um, how about the Discord people? Not me. Okay, that is a-okay. We will go. I mean, Python is pretty easy. Anyone can pick up Python in like 15 minutes. So Godot or GDScript is kind of like Python in the sense where you have very small, not super fancy, like complex words and not a lot of underscores. It's really simple and it's based on indentation. So without further ado, let's get started. So does everyone have this screen open? I kind of didn't check if you guys have Godot installed, but kind of something like this. Okay. Um, I'm unzipping it now. Okay. Cool. Cool. Um, So we are just going to be making a very simple Pong game. And when we start, we're just going to, name it whatever you want, create folder, excuse me, and then create and edit. And that will take you to the project. It just we moved on to the other screen. Hold up. Okay, so when you open Godot.
Oh, wait, I click new project? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. New project. Type in the name of the project, create folder, and then create project again, and then you should
And it
have.
should be renderer mobile, not.
That doesn't really matter, but renderer mobile also works.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right, and then they create an. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
So no worries. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I'm on the same screen as you now.
okay, cool. Is everyone else on that on this screen? Okay, yours is loading. That's okay. Okay, there we go. Huh? You're good. Okay. So before we continue, um, we're gonna like learn a little bit about the Godot interface. So on the left-hand side over here, where it says scene, this is what is in our game world. That's where we're going to put all of our objects, like our paddle, our ball, our counters, just so we get an idea of how the world works. And you can always add things in programmatically, which means like through code, or you can add them in by literally clicking with the mouse, like 2D scene. And there we have the parent node of the world. Over here, we have the file system. Right here, we have the file system, which is like where your files are and like assets. We will be using like I will show you how to import like text files, like sorry, font files, and how to import them and use them in the game. But you can import audio or images, anything really. Hello. On the other side, which is over here, um, on the other side over here, we have properties for our node, which is, as you can see, visibility, ordering, texture, material, transform. A transform is actually related to, if I open it and click and expand it, you can see we have more properties, such as position, rotation, scale, and we can play with these in code all we want. Do you guys want to take like a few minutes to play around and click through things, just so you get familiar with Godot? Like a minute or two. You guys just want to play around with it? Like I don't know, like over here, where you see the plus sign. Oops, come on. Can I do this backwards? Yay. Plus sign. Just try adding in random nodes and clicking on their properties and just see what you find. Do I need a mouse? No, I'm good. Thank you. Are we good? Okay, cool. So I hope you guys had like a second to play around with Godot, try to see what's up with it. So let's get a raise of hands, and Discord people can also just say or type in chat. Do you guys want to do the paddle first or the ball first? Raise of hands for paddle. Okay, that's factor. Okay, everyone wants to do the paddle first. Okay, cool. So for the paddle, let's get started with making the paddle. So you would want to go over here to create a new scene. And in this new scene, we're going to click other node. And in other node, we're going to type in character body 2D. If you're wondering how I figured that out, I can explain later on where you like figure out how to learn through Godot. But at the moment, it's just easy if you just follow along, and then I'll explain as we go. Character body, what is character body? If we go to open documentation, you'll see that there is a lot of information on it, but the basic idea is it's a 2D physics body that we can control by programming. So how do we actually do that? Well, if we click on it, um, so I'm just going to go back to the 2D scene. So I'm going to click over here for 2D scene. And you can see that our character body kind of looks weird, or it doesn't look like anything yet. So we can add something. Well, what are we going to add? We're going to add an image. So how do we add an image? Click add or click add node again. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in sprite. We're going to add in a sprite, and you can see nothing still, like there's still nothing there. What do we have to do? Well, we can just drag in this icon.svg into texture, which is a property of sprite. And you can see that now we have our sprite onto our paddle. It doesn't look like a paddle yet, but this is how we're going to get there. On top of that, we can still see that there is an error. I don't know if you can read that, but on your side, if you have the error, you can click on it and Godot will tell you what's up. And it's asking, actually, let me ask you guys, based on this error, what do you think you should do? Does anyone want to raise their hand or speak up randomly? Oh, yeah. Yes, exactly. Do you want to say the name of the collider? Like, what's the node name? Because in Godot, it's not called collider. It's what? Yes, exactly. So, actually, I'm not going to show you how to do it, but do you guys want to take a moment and try to add the collision shape yourself? So, I showed you how to add a sprite. In a really similar fashion, you can add the collision shape as well. So, I'm going to walk around and stalk you guys and see what you guys do and see if you guys are doing it right. Yes, you're doing it amazing.
Wait, who can tell us where? Wait, let's do a quick question. Can you tell us where Pong was invented? For what console?
Hey, okay. Cool, cool. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Oh, I think if you go click mobile, then you don't use Vulkan. It uses OpenGL when you use mobile. Yes. Okay,
Okay,
okay.
so should I remake my project not on mobile?
Sorry, what did you encounter an issue?
No, I haven't. I just heard that I'm using
Oh,
OpenGL
no,
instead.
someone's using a Ubuntu and they're having trouble with Vulkan.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one is not listening.
Okay, cool, cool. So a lot of you have been able to okay, guys, listen up. A lot of you have been able to get the collision shape working, but there's one thing that I noticed among a few of you, which is a few of you put it under here and you had a double warning. The way to get around this is if you click on the collision shape and you drag the collision shape underneath the character body or on top of the character body, it will then go underneath the character body. So if you think of it as a tree, you kind of put a branch on a branch. What you want to do is you want to put for the character body has a collision shape. When you did it like this, you can see that there's another level, like another layer, and right now the collision shape is a body. I'm sorry, a child of the sprite, which isn't exactly what we want. We want it to be a, excuse me, a child of the character body itself, and then we have another warning. If we click the warning and read it, it says we need a collision shape 2D. You might be wondering, oh, I just put a collision shape down. What's it asking me to do? Well, you did, but you have to actually provide a shape for it. So the one way we could add a shape is if we click on the collision shape 2D and then click the shape property or click this where it says empty under where it is a shape property, we can then click new rectangle. And I saw some people do this, some people didn't have it, but then we can actually make the paddle. So we can just drag and we can kind of just define where. So, sorry, what is this blue box? Blue box. This blue box is the collision shape. It's where the ball will hit and how we define how the ball reacts off our paddle. At the moment, we can leave it like this and we can modify it a bit later, but we're just going to Control S to save our scene. And I just want to make a new folder, call it source. And then I want to make a new folder again and call it paddle, because this is our paddle. And then I want to name this scene paddle. And I can just name it paddle.tscn, which means scene. It's a short form for scene. Cool. We have our paddle. Now, where do we put our paddle? We can put our paddle into the game scene. So if you guys followed or didn't, you have two tabs open right now. You have two tabs open right now up here, and the tab on the left is the game scene, but it's not the game scene just yet. Do you guys want to? Actually, no, I won't make this part interactive. But to just name it a game scene or to like make a world, you would just name this first tab game scene, right? Or whatever you want, world. I usually like naming it world. So world. I'm gonna go up a level in my folders. So over here you can see the folders I have. I'm gonna go up a level and I'm just gonna click new folder and I'm gonna name this one world. World. World scene. I did? Oh, well, this is our special little world then. So for the world, we're going to try to put our paddle in. And this is one part of Godot that makes it really powerful, which is it has scenes and nodes that we can kind of copy and instance everywhere. Notice that word instance I'm using. Instance kind of means make a copy of from a original template. And the way we can add an instance is by clicking this link icon over here. And when we click this link icon, we get this window saying paddle or world. We can't. I'll show you later, but right now we're just going to add a paddle, and you can see that we have our paddle in the world. To move the paddle around, I'm just going to click this move mode, and I'm going to click and drag my paddle to the left-hand side. Cool. I think I went a little bit faster. So does anyone have any questions, or I see confused faces? Um, Okay, give me 1 second. Just push this closer.
Oh, it's more just a curiosity.
Okay.
What happens if you have a recursive scene?
Oh, you can try. If you want to instantiate, you click world and you can see what Godot says. Hello. What's up? What?
I just missed that.
Oh, okay, okay. So you want to click instantiate, which is that link icon.
This one?
Yeah. And then paddle.
I can't read.
Oh, okay. Do you want to move up? I mean, that's the other only solution.
Yeah.
Sorry for making you move. Yeah, so far you're good. So to add so you want to save it as world. So
Oh, this one?
yeah, so rename this as world or control lessons. Yeah, save. Yeah, there we go. Cool, cool. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but if you want to be organized. Yeah. Do you want to move closer? Because if I make Godot magnified, then it's harder for me to move in. Or it's not harder for me to move, it's just, it looks different than everyone else's, you know?
Yeah.
That works too. Does anyone have any other questions? Oh, damn, you're not going to follow.
Maybe a little bit slower.
Oh, slower? Okay, I get that a lot.
I hear you, but
Okay.
everybody's not fine.
Okay, wait, is this okay?
Mine's quiet.
It's a little better now, but
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
you could just override.
What did you do with the icon to make it a sprite? Like,
Okay, so
it seems like it's
I clicked on sprite and I clicked and dragged icon.svg over to texture.
over to what?
Over to texture.
Okay, so
Actually, I have a
okay, I've done that.
okay texture. Oh, okay, I don't want to do that. That's so hard for me. Okay, that's so weird. But yeah, once you drag it over texture, then it should just appear on the center. If it's not appearing in the center for you, your transform property might be like a big number and you can't see it right now.
Okay. I accidentally moved them off the center, but I can just set them back to 0 to put them onto the center, right?
Yep, that works.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So that's all we did so far.
cool. So now we're gonna try running the game that we have so far, and we can do that by clicking this little play button up here in the top right. So once we click run project, we can click select current if you're on the world scene. And once we run it, you can see that we have our game up and running. But the issue is nothing's happening because we haven't programmed anything to happen yet. So now we're going to try making the paddle move, okay? So how do we do that? Okay, let's think. Let's click the paddle scene, and then we're going to attach a script. So in Godot, nodes or scenes can have scripts attached onto them, and that kind of gives them power. Think of it as a um, think of it as a rock, and then you put some like magic powers onto it, and then you can tell the rock to do whatever you want. You can tell multiple rocks to do multiple things, but you can command the rock. Otherwise, if you don't tell the rock to do anything, it's just dead. Not the best analogy, but it kind of gets the idea across that we can program. So, oh sure, yeah, that works too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click this script icon, and we're gonna click create. Okay. So now we are programming. You might get a lot of text like I just did, which is a-okay because we don't need any of it. We're just going to get rid of all the text that we were given. I'm gonna ask: is everyone on this step?
No, I have a question.
What's up?
So when I ran
Yeah, same here.
the sprite didn't show up on the
Okay.
yeah.
Are you working on the paddle right now or
The paddle.
you have it in the world?
Yeah. Paddles. Okay. So for the paddle. Okay. For the paddle, let's start with giving it some speeds, and I'm going to ask the crowd for some constants. So constant, how do we make a constant? We just type in const. That means a variable we can't change, and I'm going to name this one speed. So can someone tell me a value? Just shout out.
69.
Okay, sure. We're going with 69. Can we do 690?
Oh, if we have 3 digits, 420.
Okay, sure. 420 works too. 420. And we're going to learn some fundamental parts about scripting in Godot. And one of them is function ready. Ready. What does ready do? Ready means at the start of the scene, something will happen. If you're wondering why I have extra arrows and extra stuff at the end of my stuff, it's because I have type hints enabled, which I will quickly disable because I leave them on as like someone who uses Godot in their spare time. I leave them on, but just give me a sec. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing it because I want my thing to look exactly like yours. Give me 1 second. Where are they? Type hints. Sorry. I usually leave them on, and I don't have a reason to take them off. Is it? Oh, okay. There we go. So when I try typing it again, mine should look exactly like yours. Okay, there we go. If you're having like an error, it's going to tell you, or Godot's going to scream at you saying expected indentation block. That just means it expected something like this, and it expects some sort of code, but you can just put pass to tell Godot to quiet down. So the ready scene just means, oh yeah, what's up?
How do you turn on that hint?
Oh, okay. If you want type hints, which is like static typing, go to editor settings, and then type in hints. Pardon me. Under text editor, go to completion, and you'll. Okay, cool. I will leave them off because I think everyone else has them off. You have a question?
Is this a language or just Godot's?
This is Godot's language, but it's really similar to Python.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so just to make sure our game is working, we can do a quick print statement and type in whatever you want. And when you want to try to run the game, you just have to press F5 on your keyboard. F5. And you'll see that nothing really changed, but down here in the bottom left, we have our print statement or whatever we wanted printed out. So exactly what I typed here is printed out here, but it's only going to be printed out once because that is what the ready function does. It only runs at the beginning of the scene. Yeah.
when I try to run it, it says that there's no way to save
Yeah. So you can click. Yeah, there we go. So you just have to select the world scene. Did everyone run their game and have a print statement come up? Okay, cool. Next, we're going to try making the paddle move because we have spent like an hour here and we're still on a static move. Let's break. Okay, cool. So to get something moving, we're going to use the physics process function, and I'm going to explain what the physics process function is now. It's basically a function called, or Think of it as if you want to do something every frame, you ask the physics process function to do it. Every frame, physics process will get run, and anything in here will execute. So, for example, if I type in a new print statement, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. If I type in a new print statement, you'll see that it's printed every single time. And how do I know if it's printing? You can see that the standard output messages is continuously increasing. If I want to, I don't know, make a variable, you don't have to do this by the way, but if you want to, I'm just gonna call this like count. And if I have if it's just set to the value of 1, and every frame, so in the physics process function, every frame I just say to count plus equal 1, and then print count. So I just want to print count. Print count. You'll see that every frame counts increases, obviously. Cool? Does everyone kind of get the idea of physics process? Okay. So to make something move, for character body 2D in specific, we have to modify the velocity property that is inbuilt into our character body. And velocity, we can just try setting to a velocity variable or value, and you can set it to any number you want. I would say set it to something like 100, like 100, 100, like whatever value you want. And if you click F5 to run the scene, you can see that nothing moves. Why does nothing move? It's because you have to call another you have to type in another line of code just specific for character body, and it's called move and slide. Once you have those two put, you can see that your guy starts to move, but your guy isn't moving in the way that you want it to move. I just want everyone to like make sure that they can make their physics body move first, and then we can talk about like character inputs. So I'm gonna walk around and make sure it's okay. So you're missing one line.
Working.
Working?
Yeah.
Are you okay? I don't know your name.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Jade.
Jane. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You good?
Yeah.
All right.
Question.
Hello.
So, when we're doing vector 2, is like the left for the x-axis and the right for
Yes.
the y-axis?
Probably a little late to catch up, but you guys just want.
I'll just watch.
Okay. Cool.
It's being recorded.
I have a quick question.
Yeah. What's up?
How do you add comments?
If you want to add a comment, you can do Control K on any line, and you can just type in whatever you want.
Okay.
So it's a hashtag?
Hmm?
It's a hashtag?
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I should have said that. You good? Oh, did die? Oh.
There, right there.
Okay. Seems like everyone's okay so far. And now we're going to try getting character inputs. How do we do character inputs? Well, we go to project settings, input map. And here we can define character inputs or how we want things to move. So I'm going to ask, as a game designer, if you're trying to get character inputs, what would you do for Pong? Like, what characters would you use? Like, what buttons on the keyboard or mouse presses? Like, what would you do? Okay, I heard up, down.
Like, are we assuming like 2 players on 1 keyboard kind of thing?
Yes, we're doing 2 players on 1 keyboard.
So maybe something like on the left-hand side of the keyboard, like W and S. For, like,
Okay,
the
WS.
player, and then for the right player, maybe like I and K. That's what I'm thinking. Like,
Okay.
so the left side and right side to match.
Okay, fair. Is everyone okay with W, S, and I and K?
Yeah, that sounds fun to me.
Okay, cool. So we can just literally name a action called W key, S key, I key, and then K key. Okay, sure that works. I key. Let me just lowercase this. At the moment, I'm just going to make sure that W and S work. So, or I'll show you how to make sure all of them work, which is you click this plus icon on the right, and you can literally press the button you want, and then you set it up. So there we go. Now W key is mapped to the W button on the keyboard. And then we can just go ahead and do this for all of them. Like this. I know this is kind of tedious, but once you set them up, they're set up. Is that okay? Cool? Okay. 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 Cool. Let me just. Now we're going to try getting inputs. So how do we do inputs? That's a great question. To make sure we can move around in our world, we need a variable on our character body, which is just called. Um, let's just call it. What should we call the movement? Or okay, sorry, I was going to ask, but then the answer came to my head. We can just call it direction at the beginning, and just set it equal to a vector 2 dot 0, which is the same thing as saying vector 2 0 0. We want our button presses to change the direction variable, which will influence the velocity. Okay, because velocity is just direction times speed. We already have speed up here. We just need to make sure our direction changes based on how we press the keyboard. Simple enough. So what could we do? In Godot, there is a function that's already built called input function. In this function, we can get if input dot is action just or is action pressed um, W key. So you can just put in quotes W key. It should autocomplete. If the W key is pressed, what should we do? Okay, what should we do if the W key is pressed? What should we do? Yeah, what should we do? If you're making a game and you're like trying to program the keyboard, Kaithon?
Um, make the left panel move up.
Sure, yes. So what does that mean in terms of code?
You can have like a, I guess, positive Y direction.
Sure, we could try that. So if we press the W key, the direction, so direction dot Y equal to 1, we can try that. And before we run the game, we can see that we kind of want to make sure our velocity is equal to our direction times speed. And that should be good. Let me just magnify everything. Boom. This is all the code that we have so far. Nothing more, nothing less. We don't even need this anymore. So there we go. So if we press the W key, then we should move up. At the moment, that's what we have. So if I press the W key, I move down. Could everyone just check to make sure that theirs is also working like that? So when I press the W key, I move down. Do you guys have that same issue?
My guy doesn't move like at all, actually.
Oh.
Mine just moves automatically.
Oh, yours moves up randomly?
Yeah, like from the physics process function. Oh, right, I didn't change it.
Okay, so your guy doesn't move.
Yeah, my guy. I'm checking if I'm Pong input. Input actions cross W key.
That's just the core direction.
Yeah, now it moves downwards.
Okay, downwards, yeah. It is the coordinate system. In video games, up is negative for the Y. But other than that, everything is good. Oh, really? It's not-
Are you sure?
Oh, okay, never mind. Godot Dog said it's in like every single game engine ever.
No, most games are like that.
Okay. That's what I thought.
It says I have an error that says expected identifier after dot for attribute access.
Do you have input dot is action pressed?
Yeah.
Do you want to share your screen real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Oh shit, okay. You went live. I was like, what? Oh, okay. So I don't have a dot after my vector 2 here.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Okay. Is everyone okay? Question?
Does these
Which one?
not support minus plus plus?
Okay, now.
At the end of your variable.
Yeah,
Yeah, now I have no problems.
What? Okay, cool.
I don't like it.
What? Oh,
It's kind of like go fuck yourself.
it works for numbers. I've never tried it for.
But dir
Oh no
y
no.
should
I'm
be a
sorry.
number.
It's dir.y equal to dir.y plus plus. Yeah.
Wait, what the?
Yeah, because you're like telling it.
So stupid.
Yeah.
That sounds important.
Huh?
Instead of doing like variable plus plus or minus minus,
shit,
so like
okay.
add one or
Cool. So, as a quick exercise, do you guys want to try making the opposite direction work by yourself? It's very similar to this, but kind of different. I'm gonna let you guys do that as well. Because I don't want to teach you. I want you to teach yourself while I just tell you and make fun of you when you do something wrong. That's what I want to do. Okay. Okay, you got it? Hello.
I came a little bit late.
Yeah.
You can just quickly. I just want to know: are we using like a kinematic? Or are we using
Character buddy.
Character?
Yeah. Oh, there's no. Oh, wait. Did you use Godot 3? That's a Godot 3 term.
Is it?
And now we're in Godot 4. Oh, you're in Godot 3. Okay, yeah. For you, it's a kinematic buddy.
Kinematic?
Yes.
Okay. And you're just
Damn.
working on the up and
Yeah.
down strokes of that.
What's up?
Which character or characters you use for comments?
Hashtags. Ooh, Vivaldi. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to pee.
Yeah, no, don't worry.
Okay. You good? Cool, cool. You want to try and make him go up and down?
Are you slash J or slash SRS?
Slash is the middle thing.
Run it now. It looks like it kind of went.
Like, half yours.
Still on the very top left.
I saw a video of this guy just complaining about.
There you go.
Ah, I see.
You're very awesome. This spreadsheet.
Okay. A lot of you got it, but a lot of you, I saw like maybe I don't know. I don't remember. I forgot. But to make the character go down, you type S key and then you do 1. And if you run the scene, when I click W, I go up. When I click S, I go down. But you can see that even though like my hands are off the keyboard, he still goes. So why does that happen? Does someone want to like take a gander at like why they do like my character doesn't stop?
You haven't defined like a boundary at all, right?
Sure. That I mean, that doesn't explain why my character stops. It explains why the character goes on into infinity. But oh yeah, you want to try?
You don't set third to 0.
Exactly. I don't set direction to 0. So I kind of tricked you guys at the beginning, and I said is action pressed. But what I love to do in my own personal projects is I do get action strength. It sounds weird, but if I control click, you can see get action strength tells me it gives me a value between 0 and 1. It supports controllers, and it automatically sets direction back to 0 when I let go of the keyboard, which is pretty cool in my opinion. So I go back to paddle. Oh wait, sorry, no, I lied. My mistake. My mistake. I lied to you. Um, my mistake. I lied because I was doing it a different way. I was doing it the way that everyone teaches you when you start off with Godot. But there's a way better way to do it. Like once you're a bit more advanced, and I want you guys to be more advanced like now, so we can do it a different way. You're welcome. So what I like to do is I straight up instead of asking Godot if a button is pressed or if a button isn't pressed, I like saying Godot if direction or not. I don't say if, but I say direction.y. We're going to set direction.y to the action strength of the W key minus the S key. So this sounds a little bit weird, but I love making paint explanations, which I will do in just a second. So I will leave the code up as well. There we go. So basically what I'm saying is for direction.y, remember direction is a vector. If so let's say I'm pressing the W key, which is a up arrow, right? I'm going to subtract it. And let's say I'm also pressing the S key at the same time. I'm going to subtract it from going down. Subtract it from going downwards. And everyone, like, if you just think about it for a second, up minus down is 0. So nothing will happen when I press both at the same time. And let's say I'm pressing only the W key. So the W key would be returning a up arrow, right? It will be returning up minus, and let's say I'm not pressing the S key, it'll be minus nothing, which equals upwards. Does that kind of make sense? Kind of ish. You'll get the hang of it as you continue, but this is the better way to do it. What I showed you at the beginning was kind of what every tutorial teaches and what you might do for how to do a restart. Like if press R to restart, you would do it by if is action pressed R and then go from there. So now if you run the scene, you should most likely see that. Actually, if you run the scene, what happens?
It goes the opposite.
It does go the
Operating
opposite
control
direction.
inverted.
Okay, so how would you fix it? How would you
Change
do
it from SK to W key and W key to S?
exactly? So if you just switch them around, that would fix everything. Okay, cool. So we have W and S working. We have our paddle. That's amazing. Now we want to do multiplayer, which is crazy because this is a beginner tutorial and we're already having multiplayer. But how do we go about multiplayer? Well, I'm going to exit out of distraction free mode, go to world, and I'm going to add another paddle in. So I'm going to go click the 2D scene, and I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to click the world node. I'm going to click the instantiate. I'm going to click paddle. I'm going to click W for move mode, and I'm going to move the paddle to the other side. So now we have two paddles. If we run the scene, what do you think will happen? Both paddles move at the exact same time. Who would have guessed? Well, we have to fix that. How would I go about fixing that? Any takers? Like you're a game designer making Pong for a multi-billion-dollar game studio, and you want to make sure that both paddles move differently.
The one thing you could do is you could declare a variable to tell each one which one it is, but is there some way to determine which, like, instance between instance of a script?
I don't know about any way to tell like which instance, but when I made the project myself, that's exactly what it is. So, are you okay? Cool.
I cannot get to that screen.
If you click world up here,
Yes.
okay, I'm coming. You guys can take a moment and try like figuring out how to do multiplayer yourself. Pay DLC, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
two
going
D.
to understand.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. You good? Any questions?
How about that?
Okay. Cool, cool.
I'm gonna put the paddle at 0, 0.
Okay. Did anyone figure out how to crack the multi-billion-dollar problem of making a multiplayer? No? Okay. So the way I would go about making a multiplayer is I would go to my paddle script, and at the top I would make a Boolean variable called var is left. I don't know what you guys like calling it, but I would just set is left equal to false, or true. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to click. Okay, so at the moment I have a variable defined. Let me just zoom in so everyone can see. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay. There we go. At the moment I have a variable defined and I want to be able to export it and like kind of play with it in my editor. What I'm going to do is literally say at export, and this is an orange, so a new color in our code world. And what does it mean? Well, if you don't know what anything means in Godot and has a fancy color, you can just control click and it will take you to the documentation.
Someone's asking how to duplicate.
Oh, okay.
Someone needs to go back.
If someone I'm just gonna recap. If you want to duplicate your or like put another instance in, you would just go about by doing it by clicking instance and then instancing a third one, which is interesting. Okay, so I hope there are questions. But yeah, okay. So export. What does this do? If we go back to our world and we click on our character body, we can see that we have a new property that we defined underneath the paddle. If you want to play around with it, and I love doing this, but if you want to like believe me that this correlates to this over here, then what I like doing is I like making up random things and then calling them something. And then if I control S, you can see that it appeared here on the side and we can change the value of this at any time. Well, we can change the value of it when we're in the editor, which is everything that we're looking at right now. So what I want to do is I want to click on the is left, like whoever is on the left side, I want to click on that node and I want to toggle is left. Does that make sense? When I click on my right one, when I click on the character body on the right or the paddle on the right, you can see the is left is toggled off. But for the one on the left, it's actually toggled to true. So in that way, we know which one is left and which one is false, which is exactly what you were saying, Jada. Does everyone get that? Any questions? No one looks confused. Okay, cool. So, what do we do with the knowledge that our paddle is like? What do we do when we know that the paddle knows it's left or if it's the right one? Well, we can easily ask, or in our input function, we can say if is left, right? If we are the left one, we could do what we could do what we've always been doing, which is what like the line that we had before. But if we are not on the left, right? If we are not on the left, which is else, go back, else, then we could keep a very similar uh, line, but instead of W and S, we do um, I and K. And if we run the scene, hopefully, if we run the scene by clicking F5, not F6, hopefully we can see that we have both of them moving in opposite directions. Okay, mine isn't working because my project settings are weird. I key, W key. Hello? Why isn't mine working? Huh? Oh, okay. Does someone want to tell me why mine isn't working? My I key isn't working. Does someone want to tell me why? Yeah, look at me. I made a mistake. Why isn't my I key working? No, my I key is like mapped to the I. Yeah, exactly. It's not capitalized. So if I want to change it, I could. Good job. If I want to change it, I could change it here, or I could have changed my code, and either way, it would have worked. But now, when I run my scene, you can see that I have my crazy double-sided Pong paddles working. Cool, 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 cool. Is everyone on that step? Yeah. I'm assuming if no one talks in the VC, then
Yeah, well,
okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Cool, cool. Okay. So now we're going to work on the ball, and that is pretty simple as well. Actually, can I get a raise of hands? Was this like, did everything make sense here? Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. Cool. Now we're going to work on the ball, and the ball, if my thing will load, the sorry, the way we make the ball is very similar to the way we make the paddle, which is we go to click other node, and we just type in character body, and now we have a new scene. If you want, you can click 2D scene up here, and now we have a new like blank template, and now we're going to make a ball. Um, so I'm just gonna double click and rename this to ball. Control S save. I'm gonna go up a path, um, make a folder called ball, kind of like what we did for world and paddle. And now I'm gonna leave it to you. You guys can make the ball. I need to get a drink of water. You guys make the ball, and I'll be back. So it's very similar to how we made the paddle, where we had like a sprite, a collision shape, but I want you to do it because I showed you how to do it. Now you should do it yourself. No, the ball is in this. Hello. Is there a water refill station nearby? Or is it the one that's downstairs?
It goes that way and then turn left and go right.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can get it.
It's a little more tidbits. No lot. Yeah, bro, like take as many as you want. Really. Yeah. There you go. I like your shirt, tinted.
Thank you. I like your hat.
Thank you. I'll put it on right now. Yeah.
He asked me before, we said it's just for YouTube.
Did anyone figure out how to get the ball? Okay. Did anyone get the ball, or are y'all trying to figure that out? Because I can like let you guys try yourself a bit more, or do you want me to show you how I would go about making the ball?
I want to try a little longer.
Okay, cool. Okay, no one's looking at me in real life, so I just everyone's trying themselves. So I'll let you guys try a bit longer. Question?
I have two stupid questions.
Okay.
Do you know if and how to do inline if statements in GD?
I always Google it, but I always Google Godot ternary operator. I don't know if that's what it's called in C sharp.
I have no idea.
Here. Yeah. Okay, you want to talk to chat? Do you mind wearing my headphones?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Are you fine with it?
I'm okay.
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 Hi, chat. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I can't hear myself anymore.
This is sad.
Hi, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well.
I'm curious how to import
What?
Yeah, I'm also curious about that.
Oh, it's
how to import an image.
I think they're asking something. I can't. No, I think it's from the speaker.
Oh, hello? Oh yeah, what's up?
How do we import an image from our computer?
Okay, I saw you trying to import an image as well. Okay, I'll show you how to. Okay, I'll show you ternary. Okay, cool. For ball, 4K ball. You guys want to do a 4K ball? Okay, sure. Okay, 4K ball. Okay, should I just search up ball? I don't know. I'm gonna do ball for game. No, what should I search up?
Basketball.
Basketball. Boom.
That's more safer.
That's safer. Yeah.
Just if ball.
Okay. Ball.
Just for LeBron James.
Put LeBron James. Yeah,
2D LeBron James PNG.
that works. So, yeah, I know, right? Save image. So I'm gonna take this straight off the net and show you. Basketball. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click, go and open file manager. I swear to God, any goofy files. Okay. So this is what the project looks like on my file manager. Let me just expand. 1 second. Please, I hate this laptop so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. So this is my project files. These are no different than what's over here. And I'm gonna import my basketball. Where's my basketball? Sorry, I'm not used to working with a second screen that is a TV. But okay. So downloads. We have basketball. So this is our basketball image that we're going to be using in the game. This is the basketball image. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to straight up drag the PNG file over into our file, like our game files. And you can see that we have the basketball show up as is. It's not 4K, but it's close enough. So to add the basketball in, we're going to Control A to add a node. And we're just going to type in Sprite. And then we are going to, drag the basketball image to texture. And we are going to minimize it a bit. Like that. If you hold Alt, no, Control, Shift, no, one of these buttons, or all of them, can't find it, but one of them lets you just resize it. And if your thing moves from the center, you can always just click this to return, and we have our ball. I'm going to make it a bit smaller just because it will fit better in the world. So I'm going to go back to the world, and I'm going to instantiate the ball, and we can see that we have our ball in the game. If we click F5, you can see our basketballs there. Cool. I'm going to make sure. Wait. Do you guys still want to try making the ball yourself, or should I? Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna show you how I make the ball, or if I was going to make the ball. So you can see I'm getting that warning again. So what I want to do is collision shape. Just put in a collision shape. I'm gonna make it a ball, a circle shape. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna drag. Okay, so this is formally in like Godot documentation, or if you're talking with other GD developers, you would call these the extents of the collision shape. And you can see that I'm just gonna line it up with a ball. I'm gonna attach a script to my ball. I'm gonna make sure that there's no template. because I don't want that. So we have a blank script. And what am I going to do? Well, I know on the ready function, I'm going to make the velocity, or we can do what we did for the characters or for the paddles, where I had a direction variable equal to vector 2.0. Um, I will explain what this colon is later, but if you don't have to do it, but it just sets the type of the variable. So this is a variable of direction. This is a variable of called direction with the type vector, vector2. So at the ready function, what do I want to do? I want to say direction equal vector2 dot left. What is vector2 dot left? It is basically shorthand for me saying vector2 0 minus 1 0. Instead of typing that all out, I can just type in vector2 dot left. Then in the physics process function, I want to ask not draw, physics process. What do I want to ask myself? I want to ask, okay, what is the ball doing every frame? The ball is moving every frame. How do I make things move? Does someone want to take a shot? It's no different than what we did in the character body. Move and slide, yes. Move and slide is how we make the ball move. Move and slide. But on top of move and slide, we also have to make sure the velocity of our character body is equal to something, and we can make it equal to direction times speed. We don't have a speed variable for the ball, but Kai-san, or not Kai-san, because you did it last time. Does someone want to give me a speed for the ball? 1984. Oh, wait, that's not 95. Sure, 95 works. 95 for the speed of the ball. And cool. So when we run the scene, if your ball is in, you can see that the ball is moving towards my paddle. And what's going to happen? It stops. Why does it stop? And it kind of just moves over and drags our paddle with it, which is not what we want. Not ideal. How do we make it bounce? I was rehearsing this in the morning, and this is so cringe, but I was gonna make a Travis Scott reference to his like new song was like "Future of the Bounce," but I'm not doing that now. Okay. Anyways, okay. So for bouncing, what do we want to do? Actually, you guys tell me. What do I want to do when it bounces? Okay, sure. That makes sense. Um,
Wait,
you have
we're going. Wait, no, my bad. I'm just like going a little fast. My ball isn't moving, so.
just make sure you have a velocity equal to something and move and slide. Actually, that's a good point. Is everyone's ball moving? I'm not seeing any nods. Oh, you don't have a ball. Okay. I'm gonna walk around and see. Okay, your ball's moving. Is your ball moving? Okay, okay, fair.
Change the main scene.
Yeah, run works. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, literally.
Just had a quick question. So if we want two different inputs from two different characters,
Mhm.
are we just sending in like a different parameter here, or making two different scripts for each kinematic file?
What I did was I made a Boolean variable that said is left, and it basically said, actually, you don't have to do it like that. I liked what you said, which is you could literally duplicate that line and then change it to I and K or whatever you set for the right hand side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for that one.
And just swap
Yeah.
this out. Okay.
Hello. Yeah, what's up?
One, how do I unfuck this meeting?
Damn it, I made a video tutorial, not to promote my own shit, but like I made a tutorial once on like, and I like Googled it through like a really deep forum because Godot 4 just came out.
Oh my god, it collapsed.
I'm gonna try remembering it. You just search up Godot for import pixel art navlabs, and you'll see the first thing, and it's navlabs, which is my YouTube channel, and you'll figure out how to do it there. Yeah. The first one, I don't remember how to do it off the top of my head, but I know that's how you do it. Oh, sorry.
Is this a Godot thing? Is this, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not following the GitHub thing like to a T. Like, I'm pretty sure I've deviated from it a lot. Yeah.
But it's like a good like kind of basic.
Yeah. If you download and run the project, you have fun.
Oh.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. What's up?
How do you rename your tabs? Because like I forgot.
If you want to rename a tab, you would, I believe. Oh, it's actually these tabs are based off your file name. So if you rename the file name, then you rename this tab.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, can I get your attention real quick? Um. So, if you guys want to make the ball bounce, what we want to do, and I've kind of lied to you, but we're gonna have to do something else, which is move and collide. Move and collide does basically the same thing as move and slide, except there's a small difference. Move and collide will return a collision variable for us. So for move and collide, we actually have to input a few things, which is our motion, which is the velocity, and we actually do if collision. I want to first print the collision. I want to see what's happening. That's how we can get bounces from our ball, and you can see over here that we're actually getting a collision every frame. What do we do when there's a collision? We can do exactly what Jaden said, which is we flip the direction. So what we would do is direction star equal -1, which is the same thing as saying direction equals direction times -1, which flips it in the other direction. And when we have a bounce, we can see that the ball is bouncing. It's pretty fast. I don't know why it's that fast. Why is it that fast? Speed is high, so I'm gonna make it 42. Hitchhiker guide. Okay, there we go. Yes.
Is there
Um,
no frame rate or delta time reason why I don't know?
you could. Generally, it's best practice to multiply by delta. I personally never do it because I don't care and I never see. Okay, there is a difference, but like, it's when you're making like I don't know, like GTA 7 and like your frame rate kind of matters. But yeah, you have to like you technically have to multiply by delta. But if you multiply by delta, it is smoother. Thank you for bringing that up. I never do it because I don't do it in my projects, but my projects are very jank. So,
Like for variable frame rate,
what do you mean?
um,
You want a variable frame rate or?
oh no, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, in general, yeah.
Best practice.
Yes. But this is a beginner workshop, not a best practices workshop. Is it good? Hmm?
Wait a minute.
Hey, okay, so you got it working. Okay. Cool, cool. Oh damn. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so you straight up just changed the frame rate of the game.
Yeah, no, you change it scales with the screen.
Oh, okay.
That's why. That's why you have the
Interesting.
delta and stuff.
Um, okay, so you put the script onto this one. Yeah. So what you want to do to remove a script, that's fine. You can go click close the program. It won't close Godot. Okay, so no, so no 2D. What you want to do, click. Yeah, so you want to click no 2D, remove script. So that red one. Cool. Next, you want to go to your ball, with the ball, and then on the ball, you want to attach script. Attach script ball. Make sure you already have it, so it'll say load, and then when you run it, it should. Cool. There you go. So to make it bounce, I did this. To make it bounce, I did this. And this is a bit different than what we did before because let me just zoom out. So the difference here is these four lines from 12 to 16. Instead of move and slide, it's move and collide, and move and collide returns collision information. Yeah, that looks like it should work. Okay, so your ball is still like stuck at, or it's doing what we did at the beginning, which is like some, yeah. See how it says direction 2-2? It helps if you just make it left, or yeah. So yeah, you might want to, yeah, that works. Boom. There you go. So you have it bounced.
I think in real Pong, the only way the ball seems to start with an angle, and then like you hit it on the board, or you hit it on top of the paddle.
And I mean, you could make it interesting and like base it off of where it hit the paddle, and based on where it hit the paddle, it could bounce off with more, yeah. Which I did in the original project, but yeah.
I did something like this on Scratch so many years ago.
Hmm. Do you think we should do the special angle thing, or you think just polishing the stuff?
What else is there?
Really?
Only do like aperture that side.
I think you can just
You do the angles.
angle.
Pretty easy to get it going both vertically and diagonally.
True. I mean, the angle is already there, but because well, if I do it at an angle, if the ball starts at like an angle already, then it's like slightly angled for the entire game. Oh,
Oh, right, like we're doing the ball bouncing.
okay, guys, listen up. Do you guys want to do you guys want to do score next, or do you guys want to do restarting the game when the ball falls out the window, or what do you guys want to do next? Restart? Anyone else? Any votes? Only one person voted out of restart? Okay, cool. We'll do restart. Okay, sure, we'll do restart. To do to make the game restart, we're going to have to use a new node that we haven't touched or talked about in this workshop before, which is the area node. Another really important node in Godot. So we're just going to make what I did was I went over here, made a new scene, and then I added another node, area, and there we have our area scene. You guys want to listen up real quick? I'm going to explain this real quick, and then you can continue chatting and working on your own project. But I just need 2-3 minutes. So I clicked area, and then I clicked on my thing. I went to add a new node, collision shape. And what we want to do is we want to detect when the ball is out of bounds. And what we can do is we can literally make a giant rectangle, which is the size of the game window. So if I just zoom out over here, you can see that this is very faint, but there's a purple line. That purple line is the size of our game window. And if I just make a giant rectangle that is the size of that game window, we can detect when the ball goes out. I want to make it a bit bigger just so we can like detect like angled shots. So I'm just going to make it that big. You don't have to be like super duper like precise. You just have to make it really big. So I'm going to name this like out of bounds detector. Bounds detector. I'm going to save it into its own folder. New folder. Bounds. Doesn't really matter what you call it. Everything I'm doing right now is stuff I've already shown you and stuff I've seen you guys do by yourself. So nothing too crazy. You don't have to follow along to a T. But what you want to do, and I will wait until everyone's here. We're going to be working with signals, which is the last part of this workshop and probably the most important part because that lets you make nodes communicate with each other. So I'm just gonna ask. I'm just gonna like see when everyone has their like out of bounds detector put up. we can just make it thin. Yeah, it's like a wall.
What's your this?
Um,
This?
game this?
I can.
Oh yeah, the first one.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
That looks good, I think.
How's Godot?
My 2021.
Are you good? Okay, so for the out of bounds detector, we're going to try figuring out how the ball. So what we want to do is there's two ways to do this. There's an easy way and there's a harder way. The harder way is cooler in my opinion, but the easy way to do this is if you click on the node itself, you go to a tab over here on the right, right next to inspector, you click node. You'll see there's a bunch of these signals under the signals tab. There's groups. We don't have to worry about groups, but there's signals. What we want to do is we're going to double click body entered and we're going to click connect. Okay, it will automatically put this code in and it kind of says what it's going to do. On body entered, so when a physics body enters the area that we defined, and the area that we defined is the blue thing. When a physics body, let's say my mouse is the ball, when a physics body enters this blue area, we want something to happen. We can easily do that by typing in whatever we want into this code area. So print, I got a body, and if we click F5 to run, actually, before we click F5, we want to put the body out of bound detectors in. So if I just move these around, so I'm going to click Control D to duplicate. I'm going to put my out of bounds detectors just right out of bounds. I'm going to, move them around. Rotate it 90 degrees and then move them. Just building it. If you want, you can always duplicate them like this, just so that they line up. I'm not making sure it's perfect. I'm just kind of rushing because we're nearing the end of the workshop. But you can see that when the ball hits it, it says I got a body because the collision shape is just out of view. So if we want to restart the game, instead of I got a body or printing I got a body, we can just do get tree dot reload current scene. And if we run it, and if I move my thing out, you can see that the game kind of restarts forever. And if I put my paddle in the way, it bounces off. We have the game restarting. So that's kind of how you handle restarting. Does that make sense? Cool? Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, you went a little fast. So like
I did go fast. My
at the
mistake.
point that no, it's cool. At the point that so I have it saying I got a body, but how do you get it to restart?
That's the line. Oh.
Signal. Oh.
What do I connect it to?
You connect it. So if you click that,
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have a script.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So I had a script and then.
Now you can. Yeah. The issue is he didn't have a script on the node he was trying to connect to, so I was like, what do I connect to?
Now it just does it. Cool.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to 4, right? What does
Yeah.
tree do?
I mean, there's no real difference, but
Oh.
name difference. Yeah, what's up?
I might have fallen super behind. What am I
It's
doing?
fine. We're making the ball.
Yeah.
Which
I got the collider, I got the sprite.
okay, so added a script to the ball, and that is what we added to the script. So if you add a script right now,
onto
the ball.
Root, which is like the root node of this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, so sorry. We use the area, so we can do right click, change type, or change, literally change type. Area. Yeah, cool. Now make a script.
What does area?
Oh, area is there's no equivalent in Unity that I know of, but it defines a area that if something happens to that area, you get alerted.
So like a trigger.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Is that what it's called in Unity? Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Oh, that's why the collision shape
Yeah.
doesn't have a problem. Okay, and then I add a node or a script to the script.
Yeah. Yeah. So to connect the signal, you go to node, Sorry, click on no 2D. Yeah. Then click, yeah. So then this body entered somewhere. Um, body entered, yeah. Yeah. You're connecting it to yourself, yeah. And then in that line or in that area, you can just where it says pass, put that line, and it'll be restarting when it hits the area.
Which line?
Oh, sorry, you're working on the ball. Okay, you're working on the ball. Okay, ball, yes. Sorry, I got a little confused there. For ball, we just did this. This is all. So I can explain it. So this is the speed that the ball starts at. Um, this is how we move the ball, and instead of saying move and slide, we have move and collide, which is a way we can get collision information about the ball. So if the ball bounces into something, the ball says, "Hey, I hit something. What do you want to do with the information?" And like what you said, which is we flip the direction when we get a collision. That's it.
Also, what's the difference between equals and
Oh, if you guys want to listen up for a sec, I said I would explain this later. But the difference between colon equals and equals is that when I have a colon, it defines the type of the variable. So if I go over here and I print, I'm pretty sure this. Please don't embarrass me. Type of, and I can type a variable. It will say vector2. But if I have a variable here and I call it whatever, and I just set it equal to a string. Why are you doing? If I set it equal to a string, and then I do the exact same thing, but for the random named variable, if I click F5 to run, you can see that I get numbers. What do the numbers mean? If I go to type, I don't know where it is, but if you go to a list, there's like a table that you can look at what the numbers mean, and 5 means vector2, and 4 means string. The only difference is if I try to assign a direction, like if I try to say direction equals a string, Godot will get mad at me and be like, you can't do that because, as it says, string is not a type vector2, and it's static typing. Yeah, that's the only difference between colon and no colon up here.
So then I assume that's specifically a TD scoop.
Yeah. I think you can do that in Python. I think. There's no types? I swear to God, there's types.
There's types, but they're like you can change them. You don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
no,
okay.
like,
Oh, there's no
type
step.
protection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, then I'm thinking.
I mean, in general, you can like cast. But
Yeah.
casting,
Yeah.
that's different though.
I'm thinking of something else.
Java like gets mad at you unless you.
JavaScript, you can do JS docs, and you can set the type. Oh, that's a different thing
I
altogether.
think it's like just super standard Java like gets mad at you unless you like.
Oh, okay.
Casting, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can I see the ball?
This is the boss script.
Java is very.
No, it's the other bounds.
Oh, out of bounds script? Oh, okay. Wait. Sorry. I just want to get rid of this. Leave. Okay. You want to see ball script or out of bounds?
This is the other bounds.
Oh, okay. This is ball script.
No, it's not.
This is balls?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the top tab doesn't have anything to do.
Oh yeah. You can bounce around.
Yeah.
It is confusing. It gets really annoying.
Okay, thank you.
So with the way it kind of is, if I move the paddle to the top of the screen,
It does restart. Okay. Wow. I didn't expect anyone to find that, nor did I think that through. But if you move the paddle all the way to the top, you will notice that your game restarts. Why? Because actually, if you think about it, everything that's happening makes sense. You saw over there that I kind of moved the paddle to the bottom and it restarted. Why? Because the out of bounds detector just detects bodies entering. It doesn't differentiate. How do we make it differentiate? Well, I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to show you how to connect nodes in a cooler way because I used to do it like this and it was really bad. But I want to also show you other ways in case you read someone else's code and you're like, what the hell happened? So if you want, you can just clear out your out of bounds script, start from 0, and we can restart that. Yeah, what's up?
Wasn't there a way to
Not leave.
the players?
Um,
There was a way to like not make the lead screen, like instead of just like restarting the one.
Oh, you mean like stop them?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can add that in as well, which I didn't think about, but we can add that. So one way we want to make sure that our out of bounds detector works is we can go into the ready function and we can say body entered, which is the exact same thing as what's on the right, but we want to say dot connect. And it's a bit different because now we can make a function. So it's asking me for a callable. A callable is a function. So I'm just going to name it whatever. It doesn't really matter what you name it. I just want to show you that you can name it like foolish things because I kind of learned that you could name functions like this, and I like teaching it like this. So it's going. I can name it blah, 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 whatever. It doesn't matter, but I can get it to do something, which is get tree dot reload scene, reload current scene. Now, your question was, how do I make it so that the paddle doesn't trigger a restart? How do I do that? Well, we can, there's multiple ways we can do it, but one thing that we could do is we could go to the ball. So right now I'm on the ball scene and I'm going to click on my ball, like the ball character body 2D. And right next to signals is groups. I'm going to click on groups and I'm going to say, name this ball. Like it's in the group ball. What does a group mean? A group is like a label. It's I don't want to say racism, but like imagine labeling people certain ways and then discriminating against them. That's kind of the best way to best analogy I could think of. It's the best one that will stick in your mind. Um, so what I could do is if body. Oh, sorry. So this function takes in a parameter called body. If the body dot is in group ball, we want to do something different. And that's where the racism analogy comes in, but I'm not going to expand on that. You can expand on that in your head. But if the group is in ball, then we can reload current scene. If it's not in ball, then we don't want to reload current scene. So you can see that the paddle can move, so I can kind of bounce. But I can, now the paddle goes out and it doesn't restart right away, right? I'm gonna walk around and make sure people get that. By the way, you don't have to name this something exactly the same. The point is that you can name it whatever you want and it will still work. Um, it doesn't really, just don't name it with something with numbers because then it won't work, I think. Oh no, you can name it with numbers at the end. Okay. But yeah, same idea. Cool. I feel like a teacher. Show me your work.
All good.
All good?
Yeah. Can you see the ball photo again because they accidentally erased all of it?
Oh, the ball?
Yeah, yeah.
Can throw the name if they want.
Control.
No, it's not.
Do I want one? Yes, I do.
No, why do you take it? It's all mine, bro.
Hmm?
It's all mine. Why do you take it?
If I like go up and then land.
It does do that. There's a way around it. I didn't think anyone would find it. How are you breaking this game already? Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm surprised no one else found it yet. There's so many ways around it. It's such a minor detail. It's minor in the sense that it doesn't matter for a workshop, but like if you're making an actual game, it matters. So what you could do is in the input event, or not in the input event, but in physics process, you can continuously set direction to 0. Okay. Oh, I'm really sorry. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so it's the level. You see, I never really figured out how to fix it, but I was like, okay, cool, whatever. If I find a solution, I will tell you. What's your Discord name?
It's MYKUL.
Okay. If I figure out the solution, I will tell you. But I have not figured it out myself. But I hope no one else would notice. But you noticed, so I'll figure it out later.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
They're about 10 games right now, and that's the halfway point. Their whole goal is to be the most ambitious person. That's all their goal is.
No, that's real. They're real for that.
I don't know. I mean,
You want to see the out of bounds code?
Sorry?
You want to see the out of bounds code?
Yeah.
Is that the G602?
Actual, like a lot of them.
Correct.
Oh.
I love the button.
I think you're stronger.
I have
than
exactly
No, I'm not.
one game
I'm
where I
always
have
trying to figure out how the
everything mapped to
password
something.
system for digital double
So
standards.
I think I should have one.
But yeah, I cannot. I'm so used to the buttons by now. Like I don't know if
Okay.
I'm gonna buy that mouse.
Okay. It seems like a lot of you are kind of you. No one's expressing it like verbally, but I can see that a lot of you are kind of confused why your ball bounces in one direction and it doesn't bounce like it's supposed to bounce. So we can fix that, and the way we can fix that is by doing a bit of vector math. And the vector math that kind of messes with your brain because we have to work with normals. So although your initial suggestion was correct, yes, we have to flip the direction. We have to flip it in a different way. And I'm going to do this off the top of my head, which is probably going to be a failure, but I like doing it off the top of my head because I like that risk. Okay, so print collision. What is collision? Well, over here, and this kind of goes back to what you were talking about. I'm sorry if I keep picking on you. This actually returns a collision, kinematic collision 2D. What the hell is a kinematic collision 2D? If we can control click, it holds collision data from the movement of the physics body 2D. In simpler terms, it tells me what the hell I just hit, the object was hit against. So what can we do? Okay, so I need to go back. And this is, okay, this is the part of the workshop where I teach you how to like think with Godot yourself. This is probably the most important part. You can see that there's methods here. And when I'm making a game and I don't know what to do, I go over here to the methods and I see what the hell can I work with and what is it returning and what are the method names. So we have get collider ID, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to figure out how to bounce based on what I hit. Which one of these methods should I pick? Take a moment to look at them and try to see like what might help me. So I want to try to figure out how to bounce based on what I hit.
Get angle.
Get angle? Okay, I heard get collider and get angle. So get angle, where's get angle? Get angle yeah, returns the collision angle according to the up direction, which is vector 2 up by default. The value is always positive. So what this is telling me in simpler terms, that I'm going to get a number based on a vector. Excuse me. You could use that. There are ways to use it. I personally wouldn't use it. I would go over here to, sorry, give me a second. I'm just trying to think what I usually do. Okay, what I usually do is I use get collider. And what do I do about get collider? I get collider's position and I do something with it. So what I like to do is if I get a collision, when I get a collision, the thing that I do is, sorry, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head because I haven't done this in like a week. What I do is I may mess up. So you're watching me like program like live. This is what I do when I make my Steam game. Collision. If there's a collision, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to tell the direction to change. So direction dot, I want the direction to change to what? Well, I want the direction to be based off of, okay, bounce. So kind of lied to all of you that there's something called bounce. So you could just straight up get the, and bounce takes in a normal of what it was bounced off of. And it says defined by a given normal. So I want to get the surface of what I bounced off of. And I'm looking at the window over there, and you can see that that window is really weirdly shaped. And I want to get the normal off of each surface. So if I'm going to do this live. But let's say I have a ball bouncing around. Do you want to do it? Or like if I have a ball that bounces off, I want to get the normal of which it bounced off. Yeah, I want to get that like perpendicular surface. And no matter what it bounces off of, I want it to bounce off like it should. Like it should kind of deflect off of what it bounced off, no matter what direction or what angle it's on. Because that window is really weird, but it should be able to bounce normally. So what I could do is I go over here to kinematic collision, object. No, this isn't going to help me. There is a get normal. Okay, there. That's why when you said get angle, it's like I would do that, but not today. I was like trying to remember get normal. So get normal literally gets me the normal of what I bounced off of. So not load. What I want to do is I want to go to ball, and I'm going to say dir dot bounce, and I'm going to do collision dot get normal. And now when I bounce off the paddle, you can see that the bounce actually works. It's not some sort of flip, which is, by the way, not a bad idea. but not the best idea, if you know what I mean. Like there are other ways to do it. The only issue with having the normal set like that is the problem comes in when we try to bounce and the ball is zero. Then the ball will never bounce because it's like bouncing off like perpendicularly at like a perfect angle. What we could do is we could add a bit of randomness. So if you wanted to, you could do plus add a little bit of randomness, which is like from 0.1 to 0. Negative 0.1. You could do that on the GitHub. I think I had a more elaborate solution. Why aren't you working? Oh, on GitHub, I had a bit more of an elaborate solution. Um, Rand, and I could talk about that, but I can't think of it off the top of my head and teach at the same time. But oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, but there are like it does work. It just takes a bit of bouncing around, where as opposed to just giving it a bit of randomness, is way easier. So please work, please maybe. Okay, I can just explain the. Oh, if you saw, yeah, it kind of bounced. But I can also explain the GitHub solution if you give me 1 second. Um, okay. So on GitHub, I put up, I'm just going to copy paste my own code because to be honest, who doesn't do that? Ball.gd. You can see I had a bit more of an elaborate setup where, damn, what was I cooking up? Basically, I had a setup where the ball would get a bit faster every time you press. So I can go through this if you want, real quick. Walk around. Okay. Um, okay. So if a collision happens, what do? I get the collider and I check if it's in group paddle. I didn't do that here, but you could, it doesn't really matter. So I had a bounce count and I wanted to make sure that the bounce count was increased by 10. It doesn't really matter what you increase it by, but it increased. So then there was a difference variable. The difference variable was the difference between the center of the paddle and where the ball hit. So let's say the paddle is my forearm, my left forearm, and the ball is my right fist. If the ball hit directly in the center, there would be no difference because it hit the center of the paddle. But if it hit the edge, then I would get the Y position of my ball, and I would get the Y position of the center of the paddle. I would subtract them, and that would get me a difference. And then I would just divide it by some number, and that number took into account the bounce count. All of this is mumbo jumbo for saying I made the ball bounce differently based on where it hit the paddle. That's all I did. And then same thing. I got the normal. I bounced it off the normal, multiplied it, and it just bounced differently. That's all I want to tell you. So I can run. I can put that code in. Let me go over. I can put that code in straight up like this. This copy. I've never copied a full. Okay, I'll just do this. Everything should be the same. Just need a little bit of modification. And of course, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. But I'm just showing you that there are ways to make it like super fancy and work properly, like you would see in like a professional Pong game, because a lot more goes into that than this. I believe I had a start button. Oh yeah, if event. Okay, so there was a start button. Does that matter? Yeah, you know what? I could just do this. You don't have to follow along, by the way. I'm just showing you that you could take this way further than what I'm showing you here today. Ready? Okay, boom. That means, yeah. So now you can see that the ball gets faster as it bounces, and then obviously it would go on from there. But you can see or get the idea that if it bounces off a certain angle or a certain part of the paddle, it would reflect off differently, which is what I was trying to show you. Does that kind of make sense? Cool. So for the next, like until the end of the workshop, which is 4:30, I'll just be answering questions or like talking about various aspects of the game. We didn't make the exact same thing that was on GitHub. I never planned to, but I kind of showed you how to get up and running. At least everyone here had a moving ball and that could bounce, which is what my goal was. Cool. So if anyone has any questions or wants to pick my brain apart about something, hello.
How you doing?
I'm not bad. How are you? My throat is dry.
Take a break.
So if you want to like leave or go do something else, you can. But otherwise, I'll just be here till 4:30. If anyone has any questions. If you want to clap, I don't really. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, that's all I really want to show. And
I'm not sure the biggest Sonic hater. What's this?
you're welcome.
Show my haters.
Every Sonic hater is also a Sonic fan.
No, I'm not a Sonic fan.
This is duality.
This was just cheap. I like you said.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You gotta make sure you that. No, but like, I like him fight for Sonic.
That's like, I think it
Oh,
only
so you're like,
Okay.
I know that.
and I also first stage, you know,
Noticeable.
it's okay.
yeah.
I get
I
it.
think whenever it bounces.
Done a pretty good job of
I mean, he has Godot 3, so I'm pretty sure this guy was cooking up something before.
I touched it for a little bit, did like something small in the beginning, and then
Yeah.
like I just didn't code for like
Yeah.
over a year. I want to get back into
Okay,
it.
fair, fair.
Next step, add network multiplayer. I don't know about that one.
How hard?
Learn how to add score.
Huh? Oh, I could do score.
Behind the ball.
Okay, yes, that does happen. I don't have a fix. I don't know how to fix that.
You need a constraint on the.
What was
You
the-
think?
There was a certain method that like made the nodes stick. You know?
Yeah, why did they
There was like a, cause instead of like
They're
restarting the
constraints
moment, like
Oh, moving,
yeah,
slide with snap, or something.
yeah, I think it was like that.
Or to grid or something like that.
Yeah, I remember using it. I was like,
It doesn't matter. Both of them are
Click on
perfectly class.
in editor. Click on the paddle.
Like those IRL,
Yeah, it's still ridiculous.
yeah, but that's what makes it the best Sonic game. Do you really want to play Sonic game when they tell me?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly what's going on. Okay, so you know, I think maybe I should apply all of it. Drop out of the video. So good argument. Exactly. I don't think they check. I think if I said I passed the ball, what are you gonna do? Yeah, but should you flush it in?
Or just go back and restart.
Oh, right, I was gonna ask.
Is there doing that again downstairs when you're down here? Did they like throw out the exact downstairs? They kept like slowly expanding the radius for where they went to take the place. So for some people going out of the eatery and then like, okay, actually now also the point is we have to leave. I don't know.
Something like a word. This year is the famous friends taking in by the.
How do they know?
You have to like ask. You have like your name.
Oh, they have like a guest list.
Yeah, a lot of food, so I was like, how do I do it? How do I do it?
Yeah, they walked by with a tray of like dessert and like salad, the two meals. Yeah, I guess whatever. Yeah, I had my garden salad and I had like 15 different cakes.
It's like a Burns English club with like a Discord.
Oh, okay, yeah, yes, sir, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Since I'm here,
Right again, the back red double
From Reddit, it sounded very raw.
British people. People. 11 people. They're people.
That's the only thing they did right. Everything else they did wrong. They don't deserve Indian culinary experience.
What were you doing with the PS Vita? What were you doing with the PS Vita?
Oh, I was doing
Setting up Padawan.
Oh,
GSC.
I gotta get around to doing that.
honestly, I'm learning to play the first one.
I'm gonna be injured for another week, so I'm not playing anything. I need to press. I can't feel to type with this hand. I'm typing and it's like weird. Nothing's happening with it.
you're injured?
Huh?
You're injured?
I stabbed it with a sewing needle, fixing something. Yeah.
Why is it grossed out when I walk in and help? I blame my sister for not taking good care of her things and then asking me to fix them. Would you eat a toast sandwich where in the middle of the toast?
Oh no, this is like an
No,
entire.
on one of the slices of toast, the middle one,
It's like one, it's like double.
it's double buttered.
So then it's just wherever it wants.
Yeah, but it's like 3 pieces.
No, but then the outside ones aren't toasted. It's just normal. It's just
Well,
normal ass bread.
like-
There's like a toast in the middle, and there's normal ass bread on the outside.
It's 3 slices of bread.
Wait,
with salt and pepper though.
How did you do this?
2 seasonings.
Oh.
It's called quick lunch.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks so nice. It looks nicer than Passport. Like having the
There is a new one. I'm not even sure if it's gonna.
Yeah, the 2 seasonings, salt and pepper, that's all of them.
There's
They-
one.
Salt the rest of them.
We don't need the rest of it. They colonized all the Indians to not use it either.
What's the one thing in Chico was told they actually made though?
I think that was
That was
Scottish.
by
an Indian guy though.
Was it Scottish?
The Scottish people
There
like,
was Scottish people made it, and then it somehow became Indian.
they took it back. They love their chicken, you know?
Yeah.
They love chicken. That's I think it's Scotland. It's going in Scotland with bread. Making the cooking chicken. What are they cooking in Scotland? Yo, PUBG, that's why PUBG is so popular. They're the ones that chicken bread. I got a I have to know.
How do you spell this?
I don't know. Italian it's probably, they don't have cake, so it's probably spelled the it's probably B-A-C-C. Build parts your computer. Hold on, they spell it exactly.
Like I found this what it is?
Like, did I spell it right? I told them like I know how to build. I did spell it right. I know they should just reading my. They're kind of like telling me like just get like a. What is Lolo? Yeah, credit any other business. I can't believe I spelled it right first try.
Is
I don't know.
is the name of the ship?
They have like other ones, but like the raging guy. My mom does this thing where she like mashes it up with a bunch of stuff and then like fries it like and she's like, this is baklava.
Salted.
Oh, got it. The call? The Call of Duty?
Yeah.
We call it baklava in this house. In Arabic we call it baklava. Help them bring out the whole ocean. Help them bring out the whole ocean. And then I asked her, what is this? Have you ever played Rugby? There's only one tidbit left. Rapper's yelling in our ear like we're oh, stupid. He says there's only one beer left. And I said there's 2 tidbits left. There's even one. Why am I not the ski? Yeah.